Hi, my name is Cheyenne, and this is our channel, Cheyenne and the famjam. Um, Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite Christmas from my childhood. It was a very heartwarming Christmas that year, and I will never forget people's generosity. Um, so, growing up, I grew up in welfare housing here in Calgary, and we didn't have a lot of money. My dad was gone, he didn't send child support, no one had any idea where he was. My mom was a single mom. She worked full time. She actually, when she left my dad, she went back to school, and she put us in daycare, went back to school to get herself a high paying job. So, and it wasn't necessarily like a super high paying job. It was just better than minimum wage. And she made sure that she always strived for better for us. So she put us in daycare, she went back to school, got herself a better job. But we were still very broke. We lived in welfare housing, and or it's called Calgary housing. We lived in Calgary housing, and it's like they only take 30% of your income for low income families, which we were considered underneath the poverty line, because there was my mom supporting two dependents, me and my sister, and so we got to live in the Calgary housing units. And this one wasn't too bad. It was pretty nice. I really liked this house that we lived in particular. It was a townhouse, and we each had our own bedroom, which was very exciting because before that we shared a bedroom. So this was an upgrade for us. And so my mom barely was she was covering the bills and stuff like that, but she didn't have extra. She didn't have enough money to really give us this good Christmas on one year. And she I don't understand how she felt in that moment. Like it'd be heartbreaking not to be able to provide your kids with a fun, fantastic Christmas. I can't imagine how hard that is. I mean, she always did her best for us, and we weren't eating from the food bank. We were living in Calgary housing, and but we were happy. I don't think I ever felt the struggle that much. Like I never felt unloved. She always put us first. So when she was home, she would make sure that we always felt loved. And at the end of the day, that's probably the most important thing, because I never looked back on my childhood and was like, oh, I went without this. I didn't have the coolest clothes. I didn't have the no. I look back on my childhood and I'm like, my mom always made sure that she spent time with us, and she gave us her, and she ended up sacrificing a lot of her for us, in that she didn't get to date a lot because me and my sister were a handful, and I'm not even kidding you. We just fought a lot, and we were a lot to handle, and we were always like super hyper. We both have she has ADD, I have ADHD and ADD, with a touch of like OCD. So we were a lot to handle. And so this one year she couldn't really provide us a Christmas, And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, how is this your favorite Christmas? It gets there. That year, we were showing the kindness of so many in the community. There was 2 places that actually adopted us for Christmas that year. I don't know if you guys have this everywhere. I know that it's here in Calgary, where you can adopt a family. And so like a lot of schools do it, like in the individual classrooms. Each classroom will adopt a family, and all the kids will bring in toys and stuff like that for the adopted family and put it in the bin, and near Christmas all of it will go to the family. And so we got adopted by not only 1 but 2. So our school knew that we were struggling and actually adopted us for Christmas one year, and we had no clue because it wasn't in one of our classrooms, it was in a different classroom, and no one in that classroom knew that it was a kid in the school that was getting adopted. So our school actually adopted us one year, and then in the same year our doctor's office actually adopted us. So both of them showed up like on the 23rd or the 24th of December and gave us our entire Christmas, and it was so magical because we didn't even know what was going to happen. And so like on like the 23rd or 24th, like we get a knock on the door, and like they come in with like a tree and like gifts and food, a lot of food. We got an entire Christmas dinner and more. And you know, we were given things, very useful things like bedding and clothes, and then we got like toys, food, the Christmas tree. But between the 2, I didn't realize it was 2 places that adopted us until later, when my mom told me years down the road, when I was bringing up this Christmas a lot. Like, I think every year I talk about it with my mom. I'm like, you just remember how magical that Christmas was. And it was so magical because, you know, the community came together and pulled together this beautiful Christmas for these 2 little girls who weren't going to really have a very special Christmas. My mom would have still made it very special for us, but like, you know, it just, you know, there was something about it. That was the year it felt like Christmas magic. And, you know, it's always brought so much joy to my heart to think back to that one Christmas, because I always remember it so fondly. And, you know, my sister for the longest time apparently did not. She always thought it was so embarrassing that we had to be adopted for Christmas because we were poor, you know, and I always looked back at it like, oh my god, like that was so cool. And, you know, it turns around because my mom, after that year, she started being able to afford more, you know. So the next year, you know, when adopting a family came around again, she made sure that we were able to she made sure that we were able to go ahead and donate some stuff for the upcoming family, because she just remembers how much joy it brought us on Christmas, and she wanted to make sure that she helped bring help spread the joy back. And so every time I see adopt a family for Christmas, it always makes me so happy, because I know how much that family is going to truly appreciate that Christmas. Like, my favorite thing that I got that year was this, like, you know those large like TY teddy bears? Got this like white one with like a snowflake on its chest, and I just thought that was the coolest toy, and I like hugged it and used to sleep in my bed. you know, so that was my favorite thing that I got. But I'm also really happy that we got the things we needed, like bedding and clothing and, you know, a lot of food. It meant that, you know, we didn't go without that year, and a lot of families aren't so lucky and they do go without, unfortunately. But that Christmas will always be my favorite Christmas because of the generosity that people showed us that year and how it truly felt like Christmas, and I will never take that for granted. It was so special, and every time I can donate back, I do. And you know, some years we're not so financially strong, and some years we have a little extra to give, and so when we do, we do. It might not always be to adopting a family for Christmas, but it overall taught me the life lesson to put goodness out into the world, because somebody who receives it will be so grateful. And you know, you can really change someone's life with something as small as a teddy bear. But I hope you feel a bit of the Christmas magic, and I hope that you have a great December. Hopefully you get to spend it with some people that you love, and hopefully you can bring joy to others. But I hope you like this video, and I hope you'll take a chance on this channel, our family, and subscribe to our channel. Like this video if you want. But yeah, hopefully you'll catch us in the next one. Okay, bye.
Bring the funk back.